Hello!
Hello!
Hey everybody. We are live. What a powerful beginning. Yeah, it's been like every week, we say the same thing. We've been so busy, but when you are doing all this menial field labor or
Like this.
yeah, Serena's separating our walking onion seeds or whatever. Which she does basically every time she sits down. But when you're doing all this tedious work, you have a lot of time to think. And I'm always
Hey,
like,
Kelly.
why are we farming? Just over 2 years ago.
Why are we farming? A good thing to think about while you're farming.
Yeah, you're like, oh, too late to make another decision.
I advise thinking about that before you start farming.
Yeah, because I don't know if you know this, but farming is not a get-rich-quick scheme. But for me, I mean, one of the reasons I wanted to farm is because I have energy to spend. I want to be busy. So, like, when we were living at our old place, it was a nice house. It was, downtown. We had a, 0.18 of an acre.
Yeah, nice big lot.
There's lots of stuff to do, but I still felt like cooped up. I'd go away to work in the forests of BC, and I'd, be climbing mountains or going down into river valleys and spending all this energy, and then I'd get home and I'd sleep for a week just to recover, and then I'd start feeling kind of cooped up, like I couldn't expend the amount of energy that I needed to. So one part of farming for me is just I'm a workhorse. I gotta work. And another part is I think we saw opportunity with Serena and with her skill set, and she was like this green thumb, and she's been growing all her life, and it was like an opportunity to turn Serena from like a gardener into like a farmer, and I think that was like part of it that weighed into my decision making.
I don't know. I wasn't.
You weren't part. I don't share all my motivations with you. Do you want to know another motivation that I've never voiced to you?
Okay.
When they say like, oh, you're
Good.
after you turn like 25 or have kids or whatever, all your creative energy has already been spent, and basically you just become this old person who's stuck in a rut. And
I have to go talk to Leah for a second.
And I wanted to like break free of those shackles
You should color it, though.
of, we had our kids and we had this like little stable
Daddy,
life
if you need
going,
extra gummies,
but
you can color
I felt like I wanted to get some creative energy out, and I don't know if farming is like completely a creative exercise, but there's definitely like opportunities with, there's lots of design opportunities, and there's lots of, with YouTube we have different, creative juices kind of flowing. I find farming is satisfying, and it is fulfilling me as a person. So, whatever my previous motivations were right now my motivations are all being, just kind of to keep doing this because I like doing it so much. It's so much fun.
Well, I'm amazed. Ian, he hasn't talked about his thing that he talks to me about all day, every day, about why we do this. You're not gonna go there?
Go where?
Ian might get political.
Oh,
because he's allowed to do that in live videos. I tell him he's not allowed to make political videos.
Well, sustainable, like local food, these are important issues, right? Like if we've lived here for 2 years, and already there's been like multiple times where I don't feel like we're properly prepared for an emergency. Like we moved in and a water main broke just kind of down the road from us, and we were without water for a little while, and it was like everything stops. You can't do anything without water. It was like
Definitely can't grow anything here without water.
yeah, it was just like we are so reliant on this system, and
Yeah, you're still blowing my
Okay,
mind.
well-
You're talking about you're not using the C word.
What?
Climate change.
Oh, okay.
Ian's upset, like, everything we do. He's like, we gotta be prepared for climate change, and I'm angry that people aren't, like, taking climate change seriously.
Yeah, it's also about skill building, right? That's another thing that farming is about, obviously, is like, what better things can you do than prepare yourself to have some sort of use outside of, you know, the monetary system that we live in, right?
Yeah. I mean, it feels...
Skills pay the bills.
It feels like if any time was gonna prove that even though it doesn't pay well, it's not a bad idea to grow food as your business, it's now, right? Like, you know, when, you know, you always need food, right? So it's kind of, it's a safe bet. And, you know, how could you not want to be contributing to a local, sustainable food system?
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's all about.
Plus, I think we wanted to show what you can do without the use of pesticides. You know, pesticides is like, you know, we don't need to use pesticides to grow a few vegetables in our home garden, right? We don't need to use pesticides to make our lawns look pretty.
Why would...
You
Lawns
know,
are for losers.
Yeah.
Alternative channel names.
It's like, let's stop pumping poison into our ecosystem. It's like, you know, we squish insects all day, right? We cut the heads off of grasshoppers when they hop on us with our clippers, or we squish potato bugs and make their, you know, guts explode out their butts.
Yeah, that's the preferred technique. You don't have to squish as hard.
We really don't like it. Like, I don't like killing bugs, but
I do.
They're everywhere.
I love it.
You don't actually like killing the Colorado
like,
potato
I'm like,
bugs.
"Blah," but I get a sick joy. I'm like, ha, now you're dead.
Yeah, or you can just feed them to the chickens or whatever.
No,
you
that's
know,
too much work.
It's not like we want insects to be all over our crops. It's just that you can't be pumping poison out everywhere.
People are wondering what I'm doing.
Yeah, you're just...
This is all I'm doing.
We plant, like, what, a few hundred square feet of walking onions, and they produce like this. This is just one of many. Like, these were full. We had 3 of those that were full, and you break them all up, and then you have the little seeds, and then we can plant them out, and they're like the first big harvest that we get every year is the walking onions. They're very early, and they grow really well in our climate. I think it was 7 years ago we started with, you know, this many seeds, and now we
stole like a head.
No, we bought it at a farmer's market.
No, we didn't. We stole it from Dundurn Castle.
Oh, we didn't steal it from the...
we popped a couple heads off of their hedge at Dundurn Castle,
Oh, okay.
and I put them in my pocket, and I brought them home with us. But it was like, you know, like this. And if you know anyone who has walking onions, like, they'll give you walking onions.
Yeah.
They're prolific.
Like, we could seed our entire 2.5 acre property with walking onions if you gave us like
a year.
If you were like, what you have right now, you know, make that be 2.5 acres. We'd be like, okay, give us a year. we'll make that happen. Easy.
Yeah. It was definitely on the list of things.
But there is a labor side to it, and that is you have to harvest all the seeds and then break them up.
Yeah. And there was like a bigger market for walking onions, like, because it would have to be for seed. But I feel like we'd have to be international to be a walking onion seed farm. And then you get into international seed shipping. And obviously I've thought about this way too much.
Yeah. People contact us all the time and are like, ooh, can you send us some walking onion seed or some other seed?
Yeah, so if you're wondering how to get walking onions, I can't send them to you because first of all, I don't send seeds through the mail because you're not allowed to. If you're in Canada, can't send seeds in letter mail. It breaks the mail sorting machines.
Really?
Yeah. You have to send it in parcel. because it runs through like rollers.
Oh, okay.
And yeah,
It mills your seed.
Yeah, it'll crush your seeds up, or it'll cause issues with the rollers. That's why you're only supposed to send paper through letter mail. But the way, well, I don't want to be responsible for breaking like a post office, you know. That's like some expensive machinery just because I'm too cheap to send parcel. But so the way to get walking onions, this is my trick that I respawn to people all day, every day. Well, maybe once a week, every week, is go on your local Facebook, like buy and sell like group, and ask if anyone has walking onions. Because if they have walking onions, then you'll easily be able to get seeds from them. And usually they're somewhere in every place where they would be able to be grown. So that's my trick. That's how you get walking onions.
If you live in like a colder climate where you actually have a winter, then, you know,
you can still probably get walking onions.
Well, that's like the best place to grow. I don't know how they grow in a hot climate.
Yeah, I don't know either.
So
I think they're like,
but if you live in a cold
zone
climate,
4?
you should definitely have one because they are kind of magic.
Like 9 to 4, zones 9 to 4, 8 to 4, probably that kind of range.
You also have to like to eat a lot of onions for them to be useful.
Yeah, we eat them as green onions.
We were in Vegas one time and we went to this like Mexican restaurant, and they had all these like fried green onions as a side.
Yeah.
And then we were like, well, this is good.
Yeah, just like green onions, just like fried in oil.
So we went home and we started eating.
And now we do that all spring.
We like bake it in the oven.
Yeah,
with
like oil and salt and pepper, like a mountain of them, like this many of them.
Yeah. But we eat food in weird ways because we're just like, we have a giant harvest of this. It's like, okay, I guess we're just eating this one green vegetable. That's it for dinner.
We're not gourmands.
Yeah.
We'll eat the same thing every day.
It's not like there's a main and then like a couple side dishes. It's like there's just one giant side dish.
Yeah.
It's not even a main course. It's just a side dish.
Yeah, like the bok choy. People are always like, oh, how do you eat your bok choy? We're like, oh, you know, we take like 10 and then we like put it on a cookie sheet and like cook it in the oven with oil and salt and pepper. That's our recipe. On a cookie sheet, oil, salt, and pepper. And they're like, oh, okay, and that's like a side. And we're like, no, we eat like 10 of them.
Yeah, that's
it's like a mountain. And they're like, oh,
yeah,
that's a weird meal. We're like, well, you can also have like some bread on the side because it's important to get your carbs in.
Sounds good to me.
And you use a lot of oil, so you get your calories.
Yeah, and then salt.
Yeah, salt's very important too. Yeah.
Done.
Yeah, everything you need. Okay, what is the topic of this video? Why farming?
Why farm?
Why
you farm?
Yeah, so what, should I tell that story?
No. Somebody showed up and was complaining about...
I'm gonna tell the story anyways. So we have like a sign out in front of the house now because everyone was like, I have no idea where you are, and we're like, the red roof. But fair enough. Like, it's hard to see where our driveway is. So we put a sign out, but so now we get some like random people who just like drive down the driveway looking to see what we got going on. And yeah, so they were like, had never been here, so I was like telling them like, oh, I have this, I have that, and they were like, oh, okay, like what's the price on this? And I'm like, oh, $3, like 2 for $5, like that's $2. And she was like, oh, like that's way too much money. And I was like, well, you know, she's like, I'm just gonna let you know, I'm just gonna like help you out a little bit here and let you know, no one's gonna buy that from you. It's way too much money. And like, I know she was looking for beets because she's canning, and she was looking for like tomatoes, like big volumes. She was obviously like looking for a deal so that she could process some food, height of season.
Which,
and I was,
fair enough.
yeah, fair enough. Like, that's fine. And I was telling her, I was like, listen, we just, we don't do any wholesale type stuff. We don't have the volume. There's
no efficiencies because it's just us, right?
But she was like, I don't care like what you do or how you do it, but I'm just gonna let you know no one's gonna buy that. And then she was like, well, how much is this? And I'm like, I think we've pretty clearly established that you're not gonna like the prices on anything. But I was kind of laughing because I was like, I don't care. My thing that I always say is, if no one's complaining about your prices, you have the wrong prices.
Yeah.
If no one's complaining about your prices, then your prices are way too low.
You want people to be able to buy your stuff, but you don't want those people that are just looking for the bargain basement price. Those aren't the customers that we're going after, because we could never survive on those, because we don't have a tractor that drives along and has an attachment that pulls up carrots.
And we don't have like Mexican slaves who harvest our food for 10 cents an hour.
Yeah.
And it is what it is.
We've walked around the farmers market, and it's not like our prices are out of line. Like, maybe there's some things where our prices are slightly higher, and there's some things that our prices are slightly lower. I want to serve all markets, essentially. Like, I don't want to not.
We'll get to questions soon. I'm trying to keep a mental list.
Yeah.
I just wanted to get through the topic.
Oh, you disrupted me.
I don't know. Our prices are fine.
Yeah, our prices are fine.
Yeah.
Like,
we have people all the time when they come to our farm stand who are like, oh, take more money.
Yeah.
Like, you guys don't charge enough, which makes me feel so bad.
Here's like
I'm like, no, just I charge what I need to charge. Take it. Okay, but I want to get to my point. So I was laughing because I was like, obviously I know what my prices are. I was kind of laughing because I was like, why is she trying to tell me I need to sell my prices lower? She wasn't bartering. She was just like, I'm gonna do you a favor here because you're not gonna sell a single thing. And I'm like, I was like, wow, that's a waste of your time.
She's like, that's overpriced. That sucks. That looks like garbage. Ooh, you should feel bad for yourself about that one over there.
She wasn't being like that.
She was trying to be helpful.
She was like, I'm gonna help you out here, hun. She was like the type of person who'd say, hun. I'm gonna help you out here, hun. I'm just gonna let you know you're not gonna sell a single thing. This is way too much money. So she left, and I was thinking about it, and I was like, yeah, you know who else wouldn't pay the prices that I charge at the farm stand? Me. I 100% would not pay what we charge. There is no world that I would buy a single thing from our stand. Maybe I was at the farmer's market and I'd bought my pretzels.
We actually
and I was like, oh, these cherry tomatoes are so cool because there's green in it.
We very rarely.
So I'll buy one as a treat.
Yeah, we never went to the farmer's market.
Yeah, no, I did not shop at the farmer's market because the farmer's market was too much money for me.
But there's a reason as well, because we gardened.
Yeah, because I gardened, right? I wanted all these veggies. I wanted to be able to have beautiful fresh veggies, so I grew them myself. And this isn't why farm so much as this is why we YouTube.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the whole reason that we started this YouTube channel. And it's because I'm of the opinion that you can either pay I'm not gonna grow food for anyone. I'm not gonna grow food for strangers for free. I'll grow food for me, I'll grow food for my family and friends for free, but I'm not growing food for strangers for free. And that's what farming comes down to. Being a home gardener, I was growing food for me and my family and friends for free. Now that I'm a farmer, I grow food for people for money because someone has to pay for my time. And if you don't want to pay for my time, I 100% can relate, because I don't want to pay for my time, either. But if you're going to do that, then you need to grow it yourself,
Yep.
and you need to spend your time if you're not going to spend your money. And, but I don't think that it's only local farms that are important to creating a sustainable local food system. I think that people growing stuff in their yards are just as important, right? And it's kind of like when I had a garden, we never grew carrots because carrots didn't make sense on a backyard garden scale. Whereas for us, we can grow carrots. We've been told that our carrots are actually a pretty good price, and we still make money on carrots, and they're not that difficult, right? Like, you're sneaking. Leah's sneaking. She's not supposed to be. You're not supposed to be in the videos. YouTube gets mad at us.
Yeah. You're the reason we can't have comments.
But yeah, I think it's important part of a local sustainable food system is growing food for yourself, or supporting the people who grow food for you.
Yeah.
Right? Like spend your time or spend your money, but don't complain if someone else won't spend their time for you for free.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, kind of our hope, like my personal hope is that you don't watch this channel and say, wow, I should start a farm, because that's a bad idea. Let's see, there we go. Don't start a farm. But I hope that you watch this channel and get inspired to like grow food for yourself.
Yeah. Grow food for yourself, or support farms that grow food the right way without pesticides. That's what I say.
We grow food and we eat it. We also grow flowers, but only for money.
Those you gotta pay for.
Yeah. Or they have to pay for themselves.
Yeah.
Food, because I don't care. This is like a garbage bucket. This is like our leftovers that I didn't turn into
Flowers.
into bouquets for the market, and so they need to hit the compost, so they become our decorative backdrop for this video to make up for all the road noise. Pesticides from neighboring properties.
Yeah, we are surrounded by orchards. Like everywhere, all the orchards, they all spray here. We've talked to our neighbors about it. They are respectful and they don't spray outside of their rows. And I think that, the overspray is like super minimal. They only spray a handful of times a year.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say our immediate neighbor, he's super good. If it's windy, he doesn't spray. Like because you can see overspray, like because it goes up way above the trees.
Yeah.
And he does, like, I'm happy with the job that he does. He follows the rules. There's like another neighbor down the hill that will spray on days that I'm like, you probably shouldn't be, and he definitely has overspray. But he also has younger trees, so it's hard to keep. You can't keep because they spray.
And he's
up.
like really far away from us too.
Yeah,
he's down the hill, so.
But when the sprays are going, we go inside. Like we don't. Like either we go inside or we go in the outbuildings, and we have the kids trained that when the spraying starts, that they should go inside. Our son's like, poison! They're spraying poison! And he runs inside and he closes all the doors. But They also, they run the fans all.
Yeah, like if it rains out, because like the cherry, like on the top, the water will go in and then make it explode. So if water just sits on the cherries, it gets absorbed where the, what's the word for the...
Oh, that's funny. I've definitely heard that, like the girl from The Big Bang Theory. I've
Blossom?
No, there's this actress in Big Bang Theory, and like people tell me all the time that I look like her, and my friend made me go check out
one of the girls was Blossom.
Oh no, you're right. She was Blossom's friend. Yeah, that was that. Yeah, totally that one. Yeah.
Whatever.
Sorry.
But yeah, so after a rainstorm, all the tractors start up, and they have these little fans on the back, and they blow all the water off the cherries so that the cherries don't split. It's funny around here too. We're not too far from the airport, and all these helicopters just start going everywhere, all over the valley, because orchards will actually rent the
Oh,
helicopters.
she was Blossom.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought she was Blossom's friend.
No.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm prettier though.
Ooh, what compliments!
I know.
She's a TV star.
I wear racier bathing suits.
Mm.
She has like YouTube channel, and she's all like one of those like cover up people. But I probably actually wear long sleeves more often than her, because you know what, ladies, elbow length, maybe it's chaste, but it definitely ain't unsafe. Long sleeves and gloves and neck scarves and hats.
We're always wearing the worst fashion.
And socks. Always socks. 'Cause you don't want to get that foot burn.
Nope.
No. Sorry.
No,
I'm having a whole other conversation.
that was
behind
a
your
page end.
conversation.
That was a page ender right there.
Okay, at the very beginning, someone was asking about something that I don't grow on purpose. But now I can't remember. I want to say like chrysanthemums or something. But yeah, there's a bunch of... So my list of what in the flowers, I love food, not flowers. So flowers need to follow a crazy requirement list. I was talking about this the other day. All my flowers need to be drought tolerant. They need to have short days to bloom. Right? They can't last very long. They they kind of can't take more than 2 months before flowers. They have to be long vase life. Yeah, carnations. They have to have a long vase life, and they also have to be able to get smashed like this and still look good enough for me to charge $10, because everything that goes down to the farmer's market gets super smashed, and then it comes back home with us getting smashed. And so if they can't do all those things,
yeah,
then I'm not interested in them.
That's always the challenge in the morning, is trying to fit all the buckets in the back seat of the truck. And you're trying to hold everything kind of like vertically until you can get it into the spot, and then you're like, whoop, let it go, and it's like, wah, all pressed against the sides.
Yeah, I make these like really vertical bouquets. Like all my bouquets are very like this. And the reason is just because I want to fit 50 bouquets in. Where are my cats, I think, are being all crazy. Yeah, I want to put 50 bouquets into the back of Ian's truck, which means I need to get like 7 bouquets in every single bucket. And they only do that if I can like cram them in there. So yeah. But so carnations, I think that they take too long. I think that's the issue with them. Basically I do some stuff that like I do seedlings at a time, but I don't have the space to do seedlings that like if you need to do seedlings, if you can't just direct seed it, then I can't do those, because I just don't have enough space. And so I very, very, very narrow list.
Somebody asking, will we get our mobile cooler? We're gonna definitely have a walk-in cooler for next year. We're gonna do one in a trailer, so just like a little enclosed trailer, and we'll convert that to be our walk-in cooler, so we have some versatility as to where we put it in the yard, and then we can just pack it up, have it packed, and take it right down to the market. And we're actually having, sometimes it's good to just hang out for a bit before you go building something, because this year we were all set on building our roadside stand, and then we were like, long term we could build like a larger one, because we kind of have this, it's right behind the camera, there's like a berm, and there's like a cedar hedge that grows on the berm, and the cedars are very disappointed in us, because they take so much water.
As much as I love killing bugs, the thing I love killing the most is cedar hedges.
Yeah. Cedar hedges, you know, they don't.
Like, we live in a desert. They're like a shallow rooted, like, swamp plant.
Yeah.
Like,
they shouldn't be
They're
here.
the stupidest plant to have here.
For the Kelowna. And so they're gonna die. Like they're actively dying right now. But that whole berm we're talking about, if we just took that out, we could have all these parking spots, and then we could build a more substantial roadside stand there instead of just our little like 10 by 10 one that we were talking about. So now plans are changed. We're like, that is the long-term plan, right? Because there's another farm that's just down the road from us that sells veggies, and they have like, what is it? Maybe like a 10 by 30, 20 by 30 building. You know, like a little.
No, it's probably smaller. It's probably like 15 by 20 or something.
Something in that
they
size
definitely
range.
look like they could use more space.
But there's like 5 or 6 cars in their parking lot all summer long, and like I don't see any reason why we couldn't have something similar. Like if we had that, people would pull over and they'd do it. So before we were gonna, you know, build this roadside stand, it was gonna look nice, it was gonna be cute, we were gonna have it unmanned.
Yeah, we're gonna do a 10 by 10 shed.
Honor system.
Yeah, on the road, and then it'd be self-serve.
But we're like, you know, this other thing could pay for an employee and more. I really think it's a good business opportunity. And you know, we had ideas like that in our head when we bought this place. It's on a busy road. You can probably hear some road noise. There's, you know, motorcycles going by right now, but there's always cars going by, and they're all used to pulling over for fruit stands or eggs. Like the orchard next to us, they have a fruit stand. On the other side of them, there's a fruit stand. Our neighbors across the street, they have a stream of cars going down there all day long because they have chickens and they sell eggs. Our neighbors on the other side of us, they sell eggs, and it just keeps going like that down the road. Fruit stand, chickens, you know, hanging baskets. There's all these different agricultural products that are available along this road, and there's a lot of people that have to use this road to get to, there's a little like subdivision or whatever it's called, like a little housing development that has probably like 1,000 houses in it, and
or
then
more.
And then there's a whole section on the other side of this kind of like ridge that we're near the close to the top of. Like you can see into this valley, but there's another valley just on the other side there, and that goes down to Okanagan Lake. And there's, as soon as you go over there, it's like, it's out of this world gorgeous. Like it's really beautiful. There's vineyards, and you know, it's very steep. It goes down like very steep. There's switchbacks down to this, you know, Okanagan Lake is gorgeous. And yeah, so there's all these people that live over there. They all have to use this road to get by too. So there's just so many people that use this, and we're close to the little town that, you know, has all the strip malls and stuff. So it's kind of like close to the shopping area as well. It's not like it's, you know, 10 minutes away.
You're rambling too much. Get to your point.
The point is prime real estate. Prime real estate. This was the spot. You know, this. And then the house with the story and the look, like this place is very marketable. And
okay, so you were talking about the farm stand.
Yeah, we're gonna build a farm stand here.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we always have had this vision.
Yeah.
When we got this place, we were looking,
track of what you're
we were
talking
looking
about.
at other places, and you know, like some of them had some other cool aspects to them. All of them were bigger than this place.
Yeah, this was the smallest piece of property. We have 2.5 acres here.
Yeah.
But it's flat. The house is right on the road, so it's not like the house is taking up all the prime farming space. It had this, like, the outbuilding, but it also is yet again right on the edge. You know, it's right on the edge of the where they can build on the property line. So even though we don't have a huge amount of space, we probably have, you know, a good 1.5 acres that could be just farming.
Yeah. And then that outbuilding is so
huge,
so valuable.
Yeah.
We spend so much time in it. You know, half of it is about 2,000 square feet. Half of it is a shop, and the other half is like a it's a 1-bedroom apartment with a little kitchen, but it's
Yeah.
more like a workspace.
If you take away the time I spend sleeping, I spend more time in the outbuilding than I do in our house during the growing season.
I am really excited about a new vision that I've had as well, which is
Wait, no, but finish about the farm stand.
well, we did basically farm
Did
stand.
you?
Exciting. Farm
Yeah,
stand.
no, but okay, but our
build
new
a big
thing
one.
is we're talking about building like a big one, and then the other
Oh yeah, then
the other thing is so you need to have handicap parking, and there's like a few other like more strict requirements. So it would be more complicated to build
like more
this.
permits.
It'd be like we have to get permits, and it'd probably be like $100,000.
It's not.
When you include like leveling, like
Yeah, I
bringing
just rolled
someone
my eyes at
in.
you. It's going to be some serious investment.
Ian
but I don't
rolls
think
his
it's gonna
eyes
be
at my numbers all the time, but I think it'll be $100,000 after we get like someone to come in and engineer a parking lot and build a structure and like build like a walk-in cooler and like have fridges and display cases and everything.
It will be
All
a serious chunk of money. But the thing is, we can buy other farms' products and sell.
Then we can sell 50%, up to 50% of stuff that we don't personally produce, which means because we don't do any storage crops.
We can sell
we
cherries.
have onions this year. We don't do any fruit, but we could bring it in, and we could also, everyone sells fruit around us because everyone has these farms, but no one's organic. So we could become the spot where you could go. Everything we bring in, we could bring in organic, right? So then we could be that like higher end farm stand in the
to differentiate ourselves. Yeah. And then
we'd be big money ballers after we spend
it's funny,
all of our monies.
Something that I think about all the time is money motivates me to work. Like when I'm away doing forestry, if because I run chainsaw, if I have like a production goal in my mind, then like I'll run the crew like till they're complaining so much just to meet this like goal that I have arbitrarily set. So because I'm like, I gotta make this much money in a day, and I'm not gonna stop until we all like get to that production amount. And it's I get money then, and I'm like, well, I don't want to do anything with it. I don't want to go on vacation. I want to like.
Yeah, Ian told
stay
me
home.
when we bought this place, he's like, we're never going anywhere ever again.
Yeah.
And I was like, but the lake, it's just over the hill. And he's like, no. We've been going to the lake a bunch this year because that was our goal. Our goal was that like we didn't do anything. Like we weren't even like cooking meals. We were so busy last year. It was like we had McDonald's twice a week because we were like too busy to like feed our children.
Yeah.
And so we're like, no, we're gonna do better this year.
We'll let the business fail a little bit and be better family members.
And so we've been going to the beach, and it's been awesome. Because we'll go down at like 5 o'clock when the sun isn't so bad, and that's like the hottest time of the day too. So we go, like we don't have to worry about sun exposure because that's like my biggest. I think about sun all day, every day. We like take a dip, cool down, and then we come home and do more work.
My daughter drew.
These are what our kids look like.
Yep. This is Leah and this is Sam. They're very cute.
I like all the hearts.
Mm-hmm. Bravo.
What do you think, Ian? Ian's making a video, and he needs a B-roll about our kids, but we don't put our kids in our videos because that's the reason that YouTube turned our comments off, we think.
Yeah.
But
we try to talk to YouTube, and they don't have time for us.
Yeah, they don't care. They're like, are you PewDiePie? Do you make us money yet? We're like, no. They're like, then come back when you make us money.
After.
Okay, another question that I remembered is people were wondering if our kids like farming, and they do. Sam who's our son, and he is 3, and he's turning 4 soon here. He is obsessed with irrigation. His like #1 favorite thing in the entire world. Once we were Ian found all these like metal irrigation things like at an auction. And so it was, it's just like scraps and garbage.
Yeah, I bought a bunch of irrigation parts in a lot, and this was one of the parts of the lot. And he just like fits all the pipes together.
Yeah, it was like the best gift anyone's ever gotten him. It's like, oh, thank you, Dada. Thank you.
Sometimes I'll set up like another zone of irrigation, and then I'll be like, oh, look what I did today, Sam. If he was away while I did it. And he's like, oh, new irrigation. Oh, thank you, Dada. Thank you. And I'm like, Sam, I didn't get it for you. It's like for the farm. It's to water. Like, thank you, Dada. Thank you. Like, whatever, I'll take it.
Yeah. No, he's so funny. And he's got like an eye for it. We were walking along the farm this spring, and he's like, oh, broken. And there's this spot. It's like, here, like underneath the plants where it had come disconnected. And it totally was. It was totally pulled apart. He he walked by and spotted it. So
he's always looking for things that are broken. Like when we're walking around town, if he sees like a screw that's in a building that's like sticking out, he'll be like, oh, Daddy, you fix.
Broken. I remember this one time he was like 1. He was like a baby, and we're in a restaurant, and he was like pointing. There's like a light that was burnt out, and he's like, Daddy, broken. Like first words, like broken. And he's like, and we're like, it's fine. You don't have to worry.
We have to tell him like, oh, Daddy will come back and fix that later.
Yeah, and he called a server over. He was like they came up to be like, oh, how are your drinks? And he was like, hey, broken. He started he was like, oh, well, I know Dad's not going to take care of this, but someone better fix this like broken light. Yeah, he's pretty funny. But yeah, so he loves, he's just outside on the farm. He loves it. Mm-hmm. And then our daughter this year, I've been working because if we're building a farm stand, we clearly need someone to run the farm stand, which means Leah needs to learn about money so that she can safely be in charge of collecting money at the farm stand. So this year we've been paying her, and so we give her if she gets stuff fully prepared for market. And she was doing some baskets of strawberries, and she was doing this lately. She's been doing baskets of cherry tomatoes.
Yeah.
And then she gets 50% of the price if it sells at market. And so we've been using that to teach her about money and numbers,
and just try to get her working on the farm.
Yeah, and to also teach her, there's been some days that she sent stuff and it hasn't sold. And so those have been good lessons, which is well, if it doesn't matter if you pick something if it's not something people want to buy. So, just because you like to do this, just because you liked picking this specific thing doesn't mean it's the way to go if your goal is to make money, right? If you want to make money, you should probably pick those strawberries. They sell out every time. Yeah. Maybe don't put flower petals in a bag, so that probably isn't going to sell. But yeah, so she's been learning about money a bunch this year. Yep. They both I've been training for the safe handling of pruners and snips. That's been one of my training. Yeah.
I can't really be around to watch those
for this year.
It makes me uncomfortable.
They're very sharp. So that is
But Sam, he loves scissors, so he's always Sam can get anywhere.
Sam is good. He has a good coordination.
He's very coordinated, yeah.
So he Sam's been using knives in the kitchen with me since he was 1. Yeah. He's cuts his finger sometimes, and by knives I mean the dullest of the sharp knives is what he gets. he's not going to cut his finger off. He's not allowed to touch our like sharp, like dangerous kitchen knives. But yeah, they, you know, they both, like, we're always training them to like, oh, like watch out for dangerous things. And then, you know, just, it's amazing the different stuff they pick up.
Fish, they're starting to get bugs on them.
Uh-oh.
No, but not the peaches.
Okay.
The nectarines? Yeah, no, I know. We have to eat them up.
But some are
Okay.
bad.
Well, Mommy will still eat them. I bought nectarines at the market.
Go,
So now they apparently have fruit flies on them. He is coming to tell us.
these are all itching me. I got swarmed with mosquitoes earlier in the video, and now I'm feeling all itchy and gross.
There.
Oh, I got scratches on my back. Oh.
Okay. What other questions? did
Yeah,
you
ask us
see?
some questions, because we've already...
It's hard to read. Oh, someone was asking about homeschooling. I love school. I think it's amazing. I love that my children go away and hang out with other children, and I get some time to get some work done. But school got closed from the pandemic. But it sounds like our schools are going to be starting back up.
Yeah.
Mid-September.
Our daughter's supposed to go back mid-September, and our son is going back to daycare early September.
Yeah.
Which, you know, we've got to utilize that time. Because the plan this winter is that normally I go away and do like forestry work every winter. And so...
Okay, here, just wait 1 second, because these are some questions that are quick. So we have 2.5 acres here, and then do we have competition? There's a lot of people who do fruit. There's only some people who do veggies. So
we live in an
agricultural area.
There's farms
like the whole
everywhere.
Okanagan area is agricultural, so there is lots of competition. Just, you know, no one else on our block grows vegetables.
There's one other veggie place on our road.
No, there's more than one, right? Because a couple of those other farm stands do
Yeah.
veggies too. And then there's Bruce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's lots in the area.
There's lots, but
there's also customers who are willing to buy at farms.
Yeah.
So, you know, because they're there, we're able to survive, because, you know, like the customers.
Also, since those fish are...
Okay, Leah, just after, okay?
Okay, but
Yeah. We bribe our children with candy to let us make videos. But,
We're in zone 5 for the U.S. growing, and Canada's zones are a little different.
Yeah,
and we're
USD zone 5, Canadian zone 6.
And we used to be.
We always say we're zone 5 when we talk in our videos, because I used to say zone 6, but then everyone's American and they're like, oh, well, I'm in zone 6 and I can grow this. And I was like, jealous, I'm mad at you. So now I say zone 5 because it makes me feel better about myself.
Serena listens to a podcast with some girls from Alberta, and what are they zone? Like zone 3 or zone 1?
Yeah, no, I think they're zone 3 because they're similar to Chelsea. So I don't know, this probably makes me a bad person, but you get this. I love this podcast. It's called the Sustainable Flowers Podcast, and I love it. First of all, because they're all into doing things sustainably, and so they have interesting conversations. They're not like, here's what to spray on your stuff. They grow the way I want to grow. But I also love it because they do these like week to week growing season things. And they're like, oh, you know, it's like mid-July, so the tulips are finally blooming. And I'm like, ha 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 ha! My tulips have been blooming for months. Mine are like long gone.
This is no exaggeration. This is like...
Yeah, so anytime I'm like
daily.
feeling bad about myself, I like save them up. And like, I'm like, oh, my flowers, they look so bad. And like, oh, like my lettuce, like... so hot, my lettuce is dying, but I saw it on Instagram, someone else, and they have this beautiful lettuce, and then I'll listen to what they're up to, and then I'm like, the grass isn't always greener on the other side. definitely
Yeah.
makes me appreciate.
You have a tough time with the winter and then all the content that comes out of Australia.
No, I like the Australians because in the summer I'm like, oh, must suck for you not to have tomatoes, and they're like, yeah, it does. And then in the winter I get to see their tomatoes, and I'm like, it's fine because they didn't have tomatoes when I had tomatoes. So fair is fair, but
It does.
But California, everyone in California kills me when they're like, oh, gotta rip my tomatoes. Oh, it's June. Time to take the tomatoes out because they're done producing as we get into our hot season. Mine are like this big, and I'm like, oh, time to plant the turmeric and ginger and like start harvesting from the lemon tree. Woo. Closest I get to lemon is putting sorrel in my smoothies.
Yep.
Sad. But less bugs. I have less bugs. That's what I tell myself. Succession planting. Oh yeah.
That's the secret.
The name of the game.
That's like when it comes to lettuce, especially, people are like, "Oh, my lettuce is going to seed. Like, can I nurse it through another 2 months? It's only the start of summer."
Yeah. You guys should. Okay. Our best video that we've ever made that has so few views that makes me wonder what's wrong with the internet, because it should have 1 million, because that's how many times Ian and I have watched it, is what's like grow your best lettuce ever or something. And we explain how to grow lettuce, which is just succession plant your lettuce, but it's hilarious, so you guys should go.
Yep.
You should all go watch it. But yeah, so the stuff that I want to have all year, or like as much as I can, is carrots and lettuce. I want to have consistent carrots and lettuce as long as I can, and so every 2 weeks I plant more lettuce, and then the 2-week-old seedlings that I planted the 2 weeks before, they get taken off of my indoor seedling rack because it's so hot right now that my lettuce seedlings are in an air-conditioned room because that's the only way they'll germinate.
Yeah.
And then they go outside for another 2 weeks and they sit in the shade and they grow big enough in the plugs that they're ready to get transplanted. And then 2 weeks later they get transplanted, and then it's 2 to 4 weeks till I start harvesting it out of the farm. And yeah, so basically every 2 weeks everything gets bumped along, and then there's like a section in the farm where the lettuce is so old that it gets ripped out.
Sorry, I gotta put my hat on. I'm getting sun directly in my eyes.
Do you want to shift?
I can do this as long as people don't mind.
Like the light doesn't look too bad.
Look at this little. My eyes just barely fit.
Yeah, learn how to make money. Make mommy money.
As long as they don't cost us money right now.
They cost us money. What are you talking about?
Oh yeah, they cost us lots of money. But actively destroy things. Like Sam, last night we've got these like spike sprinklers that we like put in the ground everywhere.
Oh wait, here. So I'm breaking up walking onion heads. They're like clumps, and then I break them into singles.
Serena has to utilize.
I need to plant these soon, and if I plant them in clumps, they're harder to plant, and they don't grow.
And you have to utilize all seconds.
This is a good video thing to do.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying you have to utilize all your seconds.
I've been peeling garlic all day. We're having a fermenting day. I did up a jar of hot sauce. Here, turn the camera, Ian. Here, angle
What's
it
going
over
on?
this way.
Okay, get ready for it, folks.
Lifting my skirt up. This is what we're doing today. Make sure my dress doesn't.
Yeah, nothing inappropriate.
Flash everyone. Hey. This is what we're doing today. Cabbages. This is why I've been peeling
There, sit down, do it.
peeling garlic all morning. We're doing up a massive batch of, I got a 3-gallon crock. We're gonna fill it up with sauerkraut, kimchi deliciousness, so we can make ourselves a spicy, salty snack to eat all winter. But I got a bunch of these, and better do it soon because they're all buggy.
Yeah, the bugs are getting in them.
Yeah, they're finally big enough. If I peel off enough of these, I don't know. This is probably gonna be a
Yeah.
yeah.
But even still, there's so much.
Look at that. It's it's like actually the size of a bean's head.
Which is substantial. Here, you got dirt all over.
So that's what I'm gonna be doing. My recipe: salt cabbage. Get this like sweet, awesome Korean, like
the spicy peppers.
funky seafood stuff. Hot pepper.
There,
Get my
seeds
bucket.
I can go grab a cat.
And then I do carrots and lots of ginger, lots of garlic, and fish sauce. That's the trick. Instead of, so you gotta salt the cabbage. Like I do it like how you do sauerkraut. You salt the cabbage to get the juices running, and then you rinse it, and then when you mix all the flavors together, use fish sauce. And then it's like, oh, fish sauce is my secret ingredient for making everything delicious because it's so funky and good. I have no luck growing cabbage. I find the trick that I've used sorry, is this spot where I just grab this cabbage out. This is like a part shade bed. And, you know, you always think like, oh, you gotta have everything in full sun. Everything grows better in full sun. It's just so hot here that we found it when we planted cabbages in this part shade spot that it, that they did way better. And so that was like the only time I've been able to figure out how to get cabbages to actually do anything. You know, because I think they don't like the heat. And it's just so hot hot and dry here in the summers. It's hard to get them happy.
I can see again.
Yeah, now it's getting now I'm getting it. Look, I'm glowing.
Oh yes, you are radiant.
I'm in the sun spot. Yeah, it was hot today.
Yeah, it was like
I was like,
take the energy out of you hot.
I'm not doing anything. I'm gonna stay inside. And
somebody said it was 41 Celsius in downtown.
It felt weird. Like we're normally like it still feels like the weather. I checked it, and it said haze, and I was like, what does that even mean? Like not sun.
Well,
not
you can
cloud.
see it. We have a lot of like long visibility.
Yeah, walking onions.
Corridors. Like you can look right down the valley from our place, so you can tell when there's a haze. Because this is like we get smoke from wildfires all the time.
This person's doubling.
Oh yeah, make us some money. Double up those ads. In case anybody's wondering, please skip all the ads. You don't have to watch ads. Some people send us messages and they're like, I watch all the ads and I never skip them. You have better things to do with your life.
I skip all the ads.
Yep.
I don't watch my own videos on YouTube because I'm like, too many ads.
YouTube did this thing recently where they pumped in all the old videos, every single video that's on YouTube.
All the back catalog has like mid-roll ads.
Yes.
And so now there's like so many ads. It's like, I mean, I know our videos, like some of them are pretty long, but I hate ads.
Yeah.
So you get like analytics for like having the channel. And so I noticed this month, YouTube has this like do you know what it's called? Like you pay a monthly subscription.
Oh, no, Red?
Maybe. So YouTube has like has a thing where you can pay and then there's no ads on YouTube for you. And you what they do is the amount of money that you pay, they then divide that money between the people that you watch. Is it YouTube Premium? Yeah, the name has changed a bunch. But yeah, so they divide that you like we get money from people who have that, who watch our videos. So it is like part of like the numbers that we get.
The lights in my eye again.
And this last month. Sorry guys.
Our Ready for Betty alarm just went off for our kids.
So our on our stuff this last month, it was saying there's like way more of that.
So people must.
And
be
so I was like,
doing
oh, people are like me. They're like getting so annoyed about all the ads. More people are like paying
good,
for
doesn't
it. 'Cause I'm tempted.
But I don't eat.
I have no time though. I don't watch
Very
YouTube
slow.
videos anymore. This is the closest I get to watching YouTube videos anymore. I just don't have enough time. Not enough hours in the day to watch YouTube videos.
I watch YouTube videos when I am when I'm cooking in the morning, when I'm making breakfast, or when I'm cleaning the kitchen. I put YouTube videos on, but that's about it. I think we might have to wrap this up because
Yeah,
we have
our
some.
kids are getting there. Yeah. Oh, so this is a dahlia, and you can eat them.
Okay.
But I don't know about
We're gonna do
Cosmos.
a goodbye
I don't
and
know
a
if you
thumb.
can eat Cosmos.
Check in on you, okay?
Okay, yeah. So we're also
Okay.
trying to make this only an hour because sometimes we get going.
It's easy
and
to
it
talk,
gets-
right?
And it gets going for super long.
Thank you
But
everyone
thanks
for
so much for
joining
hanging
us.
out. Like it's blowing my mind how many of you are here hanging out with us right now. You know,
We've been really excited about the channel lately.
yeah, we like our videos.
Yeah.
You know, it'd be embarrassing if we were putting out videos that we didn't like.
You know, that last video that got released, I think I was editing that video.
That was like
For-
a 30-hour. That was
Oh.
a 30-hour edit.
I don't know if
that
it was quite
one.
30 hours, but it was a lot.
That was.
And it was when I first sat down to look at all the footage, I was like, oh, there was a lot to go through. So
It's hard when there's like so much to do on the farm to also be able to like pump out the videos.
one
you
a
know,
week is our goal.
We try to get like one a week, and then we also try to film some B-roll that we can use for when the fall winter comes, so we can still make videos for you guys, even after we don't have anything good to show. But yeah, I don't know. We'll probably start doing more regular
Now
lives
put on.
too as things kind of clear, like the schedule gets less hectic as we get into the fall. But we gotta go now. It's time for second dinner, apparently.
Thank you everybody.
Yeah, thanks so much for hanging out.
Bye.
See you guys.